You are welcome into the closing circle of our 3-day Learn Shop together, Learn Shop 2010 here in Lüchen, just outside of Berlin, with our wonderful sponsoring team of Jürgen and Christoph and Birgit and Michael and Frederick, who's not here, but I just want to give a big thank you. You did just such a wonderful job. And what I'm going to do is use this particular, we refer to an input object, to input into to give input. And this is the wonderful totem that came from Indigenous peoples in the Vancouver, Canada area. And Michael brought this here just in terms of being able to have our energy with it when it goes in a few days to the World Open Space on Open Space meeting with people from many countries. Somewhere between 150 and 200 people will be gathering. So this is going to have some energy from us, some positive energy that we're going to be sending on to the best learning of those people that gather. And so I'm going to be passing this object to the person to my left. He's ready. And if you are the holder of the object, you are the speaker, and the rest of us are the respectful listeners until we're done. It is a chance for you to say whether any of your hopes got met, whether any of your fears happened. It is a chance to say anything special that you want to say, that you learned. Was there anything? I always think that a good Learn Shop is if you were able to learn something each day. Was there something you learned? And anything else that you would like to say? I give you my heartfelt thanks for your participation. First of all, you made the choice to arrive here. And then you chose to actually really arrive, like with your whole person, to the best that you could do that. Your participation, your wisdom. I thank you for bringing all of that. The willingness to learn, the willingness to play, the very special gift that you gave of participating in the book launch last night. I thank you for all of that from the deepest part of my heart. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I did not meet my fears. And first, a brief thank you all for being together with me here. Thank you for your support, and it makes a kind of security for me to be here, and that we're doing. You know what's the right thing to do and to teach, and many thanks for this. I'm coming here because I'm doing something crazy for some people in my organization in Hamburg, and they trust me up to now to doing such crazy things, like this round, to telling them around this kind of doing things. My ability to be silent and around and looking for the process going on, what's going on. I think they think it's a little bit crazy, but on the other hand, they feel it works such a wise. So I come here to meet people who are sharing the same ideas, and I met them, and I come via Google here, but not wild via Google, but centered via Google, and it was very, very successful. And I go home with a feeling there are people behind me that sharing the same ideas and the same philosophy, even if it's not proof in figures, but it works, and it makes me strong to go home. And thank you for that. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I looked at the hopes and fears. I didn't had fears. I had the hope. a very concrete hope to understand, I put it in brackets, deep essence, because I have become careful in thinking I understand something really. Each time I feel a little bit closer to something, it kind of goes away again. And this happened again. And I feel like I'm in a constant process of transformation. There is a transformation going on, very real in my real life outside, family-wise, business-wise, living-wise. And I think this transformation here added a few other items. And I was thinking, what is the result if there's too many things going on? You either block some, or you really come to a different way of approaching them. And I hope that will happen. I'm in the middle. And but I like to thank you very much, Birgit and Ward. And I think it was really a very good feeling yesterday evening with the whole group around the fire.
Yeah, it was a pleasure for me to be the sponsor for this workshop here, and having once more the possibility to learn a bit more about anchoring energy and the necessity of this. And therefore I say thank you to everybody from you that you were coming and that we had such a great workshop here. When I look at the hopes, I had written down there that I hope that I once more experience genuine contact. I can tell you it was 100% fulfilled. And even not only with this group here, when I left yesterday this room in the evening, I went once more to the fire. I was attracted by the fire to go there. And then I had a genuine contact with my father and my brother, who died 26 and 19 years ago. Thank you for this genuine contact once more. And there is a third point what I want to mention. I was really curious. In the past, I always had at least 5 or even 7 days together with you in the learn shops. And it was the first 3-day learning experience. And I was curious if it will be like a milestone in my learning journey, always in the past, this time again. And I once more can say, yes, it was. And just in running through the wheels this morning, there were a lot of very important messages to me. And now I'm curious what will happen in a few weeks from now, because I will participate in the Summer Academy in Herzberg as well. And this will be then the 5th milestone in my genuine contact learning experience together with you both. Thank you.
I will meet this on Wednesday again, so I will attend the World Open Space on Open Space. My hopes are fulfilled. I'm so happy to be here now, and that I missed last year the summer academy because then the fire yesterday in the evening was special, so that was great. And I was just thinking, it is a difference for me to make a learn shop in San Francisco with all great American people around me, and to make a learn shop at home. It's a difference. Perhaps it's a little bit crazy to fly to Germany to meet two Americans and to think, hey, it's just 2 weeks ago and I was in Greensboro and it's not so far away from Raleigh. And so, yeah, perhaps it's a little bit crazy, but it makes a difference, and I feel more comfortable. I'm looking forward for the for all what will happen with Genuine Contact. I don't know right now, but we will see. And I'm very thankful that you recommended me to come. So, and I will hold it for you.
I'm so happy that I made it here. It was not easy to come here, and finally I made it. And I'm so thankful, each and every one of you, for everything I had the chance to learn here, especially, from all of you. And I made I guess, a major step forward in my individual learning journey. I'm happy about that because it's almost a year ago that I had the last kind of this workshop. And I come back to this learning experience and this feeling as well. Interesting is that for me is that that the major things happened inside of me, and in my head, in my heart, in my stomach, happened in the transfer in times. And also this morning when we had the opportunity to be in the medicine wheel, to feel the medicine wheel, to experience it. And I'm not quite sure what was it, what happened then and before and afterwards, but I'm looking forward to learn from it. And it's nice. This has almost no weight. Yeah. I hope that I make some experiences here to be good prepared to a huge open space. I have the honor to facilitate on Monday and Tuesday, and I guess I made it, got it, and yeah, thank you again.
As a member of the sponsoring team, I'm very proud that we did it. I'm very thankful to my colleagues that we organized this and created a container, a circle where this could happen. And it was really a great feeling to welcome you. A lot of new people I didn't know, we didn't know, and to have the time with you and to bring you closer to the GC learning journey. And as a participant, I was expecting, I hope for the spirit bang, but I got a lot of spirit sparklings, so and that's a little bit more overwhelming than a bang, because I have to bring them together now, and the LearnShop is finished, closing circle, but the learning journey goes on, and I'm looking forward to bring all the things together I collect here, and I found really some spirit sparklings that they just shine up, and I have to go for it now. These are to take the responsibility. The 2 feet I felt very much in the area of leadership. Very, very, very heavy feet. I felt my heavy feet. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to meet you again on my and on our learning journey. Thank you.
Whoa. First of all, I want to thank the sponsors team and for making this happen and for challenging my beliefs that I will not make it through the invitation to come, and that was great. Thank you. Thank you all. There's so many sparklings in my head and all over. One is the first person I contacted, like I took the phone and called Isabella. That was the first person in the Genuine Contact community that I contacted, because I saw on her website that she says she's combining Buddhism and shamanism with organizational development. What? That brought together 2 areas that I was interested in. And that time and long before. But I could not imagine how should that work, so I called her. That brought me into the genuine contact community. And if I combine this with the law of the 2 feet, there's a new meaning that we had in the conversation yesterday. The 2 feet is not only the freedom to go wherever you take self-responsibility for your own learning, for my own learning, but it's also to walk the mystical path with practical feet. We have the 2 feet. We have 1 foot in this world, in the visible world, in the linear world, in the 3-dimensional world, in a logical world. But there is another feet in a non-visible, in a processual, circular, somehow different kind of world. Worlds in the plural. And I love that. It is a great gift that you develop for this world, for these worlds in the plural, and dimensions and beings, and in our group there was one fear that it might be possible to lose connection or awareness to our own perspective and our own background, and when I look at that now and my own learning journey through the 3 days, it is so strong through the way you teach and you create that learning journey. It was so possible for me to connect it to a lot of learnings that I had before in formal education and non-formal education, and through strong personal struggles, and it is so open and so inviting to really be on our own path and be irritated on that path and get new insights and ahas and or no's. I love that. And so many questions are in my mind right now, like I think I will use the whole time in the train to write down all these ideas and ideas of how to apply these tools with my own background, with the kind of work that I do, with especially with the participatory theater work, like to bring it into being and into action. Like there's this question of a shift in consciousness. Okay. So, and then the shift into action and behaviors, transformed action and behaviors, and I had a long conversation with Peter about that, how to create a safe room to try to experiment and explore new behaviors and actions based on a shift of consciousness. So I had a lot of visions during the walk through the medicine wheel today, and I'm very happy about the community that is able to support this kind of leadership that I want to take to fulfill the purpose and the visions. And there's a beautiful management platform that you have built up with a genuine contact way approach to do that. So thank you all for being. Thank you all for being.
As usual, you brought a couple of things onto the point, like that I see similar. I also wanted to get together my interest in spiritual things with the work with organizations. And for me, the genuine way is new, so I didn't know anything about it. And my fear was that it's getting very esoteric in a way that it's not authentical. And I think it is esoteric because it's combining the worlds, but it's very down to earth esoteric, or and that's what I like. And for me, it was this way is an opener. It's an opener to the inside. That's what I feel right now. I feel more open to the inside. And I feel more open to the outside, to the group, to everything what's around, to more dimensions. And this genuine way is the way that leads to this point, I think. And that's what I experienced here. I not only got it in my mind, but I experienced it, and I feel right now open to these different dimensions, and open to the sharings, and open to what everybody brings in. I'm not usually the type that is very open to what other people say, and so, but it changed during these days, and that's for me a proof that it works. So I'm very grateful to be part of this circle right now and during these days, and probably in the future. Thank you.
I'd like to thank the participants. Without you, this would not happen. I'd like to thank the sponsoring team. Without you, this would not happen. I'd like to thank Birgit. Without her, this would not happen. And I enjoy myself. I like my role of being instead of having to do, and to connect at the heart with so many people. It's a privilege. Thank you.
My English ended.
Better than my German.
Ja, ich bin so glücklich, dass es funktioniert. Also, dass es immer am Ende in dem Kreis so eine tiefen Einsichten gibt. Und das macht mich so glücklich und ich möchte unbedingt weitermachen.
And shall I translate? I'm very glad that it's working. I'll say it again. That it's
Dass im Kreis die tiefen Einsichten kommen.
that you have these deep insights inside of the circle. And
I will go on.
you will go. Yeah.
Meine Familie und meine Freunde haben wieder gefragt, warum machst du das?
My family and my friends have asked, why are you doing this?
Me not.
Wo führt es dich hin? Weil es für viele von außen keine sinnvolle Erklärung gibt.
Where does it lead you to? Because from the outside there is no explanation that makes sense for it.
Mhm. Und deswegen bin ich besonders glücklich, dass Andreas mit dabei ist.
And that's why I'm very proud and happy that Andreas is here with me.
So dass er das auch mal mitspüren kann, was passiert.
That he can feel it as well, what's happening here.
Mhm. Vielen Dank.
Don't translate that.
Ja, und wir sehen uns wieder.
We'll see us again.
Yeah, it's very light. It's nice to hold. I start with my sponsoring team, and I want to thank you. And maybe this room is here for Frederick. I want to thank you very much, Frederick. And I think it was a very interesting experience for this, to do it twice here in Lüchen. It was different. It was different this time, and the preparation was different, and I learned. And I thank you for holding tight together with me. I thank Bettina. She was sitting next to me at the first transfer in, and Birgit said she will be a teacher. And you were. There was 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or even more minutes that I've been thinking, thank you. And I want to thank everybody, of course. And I want to build inspirational bridges, was it that? Was hopefully many of you. I heard this word and I thought it's such a nice word for people partying, inspirational bridges. Would be nice to keep those. And when I come to myself, and when I was standing in the management quadrant, I was standing in all these quadrants and I was really, what do I feel? And it's important now, I want to feel something. And I walked into the management quadrant and I had done a couple of steps before, and all of a sudden I felt my hands in the pocket and I thought, oh, take them out of the pocket, you're in the management quadrant. And then I was thinking, be open to outcome. You don't need your hands in the pocket, out of the pocket. And I put them back and it was so relaxing, it was just fine. So it comes to this point that I found a lot of things in the pockets. Thank you for that, Ward and Birgit. And it's quite strong to be and to take up leadership. And I realized it's very hard to keep your hands in the pocket when you take up leadership. And open the space for whatever is ready to come and have the strength to do so. So I will go out of this workshop and try to do that. Yeah, thanks you all.
Thanks, both of you. Just for coming here and preparing those 3 days, many years. Yes, it's a development I got during the last exercise. Yes, step by step and evolving from the last step, the next step, and I learned a lot those 3 days for myself. Very private questions, yes. What I want to do the next years and how handling very private questions, and therefore the genuine contact way seems for me quite adequate. Okay, and by the way, I got some good insights for my work okay, understanding projects which ended already, and good ideas how to handle the next one, which might be quite difficult. I came here because of work and ended with insights for my private life. Thanks. And you, sponsor.
Yes, what can I say what nobody said before? For me, that was the first time with Genuine Contact Way, and that was a wonderful time. The 3 time in this circle was wonderful. I learned so much, and I learned so much easy tools, and I think that was a wonderful time, and I thank you for all. Thanks.
First, I apologize for the weather. I don't know what happened, but the sun will come out.
Good sign.
I deeply appreciate all of you being here and sharing this experience with me. Thank you very much. And my special thanks goes to the team, the co-sponsors. I had some troubled times earlier this year, and I really thank you for allowing me not to step out and trusting I'm still there, and carrying forward the torch and keeping the spirit up. And this thanks also goes to Frederick and my partner, who supported me in other ways. Yeah. And here I had many surprises. Maybe to put this in context, recently at a conference I was invited as an expert and found out that my brother was also invited as an expert. And then a few days before the conference they asked us, are you willing to share a room? And we said, yeah, sure, no problem. And we ended up in a double bed, for a week. And it was a conference prototyping large group intervention to deal with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, something new that is being pushed forward now. And so we had our very personal experience. And in a similar way here, next to everything else that was going on, just this week my grandmother died, so I wasn't so much surprised to be in deep contact with her here. But then my mother and also one of my sisters showed up, and in a way my sister receiving that place in my heart that my grandmother had before. There's a interesting transformation going on these past days. So that's something that I think maybe if I wasn't here wouldn't have been so clear to me. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to meeting you again and having more big experiences. Thank you.
Should I really take photos of you? Thank you. Yes.
For me, it is a very special visit to Germany, to Berlin, especially because of combination of these three events: Genuine Contact Way, Learn Shop, workshop of Sandra and Marvin, with whom I worked before, and Vosunos. Because long ago I developed a concept of connected circles. And actually it came to me in a material way about 10 years ago here in Berlin, when I've been at the Future Search conference in Potsdam. I connected these circles, and we did then a presentation as a future scenario, how we're standing in a circle connecting with other circles. And since then, I had many images of interconnected circles until in 2002, I had a night dream being in England, actually part of another circle, that I've been facilitating Future Search conference in the center of my city. And people were presenting future scenarios. This is the best part of the Future Search conference. And then they began to stand in circles for the open space technology meetings. And I noticed that on the ground was fresh ashes, like after eruption of the volcano. And people were standing and pressing this purely fresh, new soil for something future, what they had to create during this conference. And at this very moment, I looked to a train station, main train station, which you could see from the main square. And there were buildings like old academies, and they all were empty. They were not destroyed, they were empty, because all people were outside on the streets, and they were totally involved in this Future Search conference and open space technology. And behind these buildings of academies was a field, and the crop circle arrived. And then I learned that it was a real crop circle from Milk Hill in 2001, with 409 circles of different size, which were interconnected in a wonderful structure of 6, I never know how to say, when the flower with
petals.
Petals, yeah. So they were bigger and smaller, and then all were connected. And one of my friends was at this circle, and she took pictures, and I said, they are connected. She said, no. And I said, look at the picture. And between all the circles were kind of open space, so you could go through these circles. And since 90s, 80s, I've been member of many circles, of many international organizations. And then I found out that not only me was a member of different organizations, but some people were members of that organization and then this organization. And we've been meeting, and then it became my search of these interconnections of circles and organizations. And I've been several times in such situation when there were people from one organization meeting in another organization. And in this sense, it is particularly interesting that 3 of my major networks with which I work on daily level for many years, meeting here in Berlin. And I could not miss it. I planned it long before, and even though it was very difficult to organize and difficult to come, and even volcano was erupted to stop people from traveling, it somehow calmed down, and so I could make it. And I am very, very grateful to, first of all, to organizing team, because they did it. And that first time when I see such a wonderful teamwork, when you don't know who is responsible for what and how it is organized. And until now, I've been seeking who was responsible for the weather. And finally, Michael took the responsibility. But only having the sun coming, because that was my biggest fear, that it will be cold. And I wasn't afraid to be cold. I was afraid not to show all my wonderful dresses. I have another week here. And of course, I'm grateful to Birgit and Ward, because I've been longing to come to this circle, to this nourishing circle, nurturing circle, because I've been at many conferences and seminars, but nothing is given such a genuine contact with yourself and with the others in a so short time, and you can go deep immediately from the first transfer in. And I still love everybody who was in my first training in Raleigh. We lived in an international suite, and then a bunch of Canadians came, and it's really wonderful to be among Americans and Canadians. But of course, I understand that it is wonderful to be among your people, speak the same language, and I could dream about creating such community in Russia. And my biggest hope was to get a push to bring genuine contact way to Russia, but I've got here a better idea, to create an attractive field. So I will do it, not try. I will do it, and you all are welcome to come to Siberia and do whatever you wish with genuine contact and with any other of your interests, because it is open space there. Actually, there is your place waiting for you.
I know, right?
So I learned a lot of great, wonderful ideas and worked with the medicine wheel on a deeper and higher level. I would love to work on an even deeper and even higher. And that was great. And thank you, everyone, for your being.
Yeah, now I know what it is like to be. What was so funny? Okay. Ach so. Now I know what it is like when I come home to Eric on Tuesday evening. I remember when he came home from the first Genuine Contact seminar in the time when we started to live together. Now I know it, what it is like. And I feel sometimes I can see what happens in on the energetic side of a group. And here I feel to be a part of a ring. So it's some sort of intense, like a band of energy running through us. And I can even feel how the energy flows through me, and it is your energy.
and it helped me to unfreeze. So yesterday I realized that I was, in some way, I was a little ice cube. In some way I was very vivid and very, I wouldn't call it hot, but vivid. And on a special level, I felt how I was melting and some sort of becoming fluent. And I think that is one very important aspect with working with organizations. And that I learned. And as you started with a story about, I think, open space, I remember that my first open space in 1994 was in Germany, and a good friend of mine opened it. It was Ingrid Ebeling, and I was so amazed. We stayed there for 3 days. And I felt there is something for me in it. But I was at the beginning of doing good consulting, and I thought about, yeah, I will keep up, and I will do that. And now, 15 years or 16 years later, it happened this year that I facilitated a meeting with 240 people, and I found myself there, and I thought, okay, sometimes it's really important to be patient enough to wait until it's okay, and I felt how easy it is on one side, and on the other side how delicate every word is that you say in such a situation. And when I come back now here to this circle, I had 3 days of transforming my thoughts into energy. And now I can feel what I thought. And on 3 days ago, I just thought it. So it really became part of my blood somehow. Thank you so much. And I think it has a lot to do how the two of you made this structure come into being. And I think the element is fire. Thank you so much.
Can I have just for a moment? I'm sorry, telling the story about the circles which came in my dream, I forgot to tell you the key words. When I saw this big circle, the structure of 409 circles, the information came to my mind, human crop circles. And I said, I see human circles because people were standing in the circles preparing for the open space. I asked, why crop? And the answer was, because it is time to harvest human wisdom. And that was the end of the dream. And since then, I've been receiving lots of information about circles, wisdom, harvesting, and all these things. And genuine contact is a way helping people to collect human wisdom. And I'm very thankful for this. And we all are doing this. Thank you.
Now we're going the other way around. the law of 2 feet. The law of 2 feet is still in order. So if anybody needs to leave. Thank you, Birgit. Thank you, Ward, for coming here so much, even without a contract. just trusting our word. And yeah, thank you for being here.
Too funny. Oh. I say thank you from my heart to all of you. And as always, thank you, Ward. And this time, because we chose to do filming, we didn't do our normal way of how we share, except telepathically. And so, although you loved the beingness here, in a few weeks when we're in Switzerland, this might reverse a little. So we'll see. And I just simply thank you all very, very much. The last chapter of the Genuine Contact Way book, the title is Forward. And that's how I feel about the ends of every workshop. To me, the end of a workshop is what happens when you go forward. And so I wish you great, great joy. If it's a transformative forward, if it's something from some kind of sparkling that you got, whatever it is that you personally processed, that you need for yourself personally and professionally, I hope that it goes forward with ease for you, with joy, and with great abundance for you in all ways. And at this time, we're going to be picking up the certificates, and you will get a certificate to present to someone, and it's exactly the person you should present to. You might end up presenting to yourself, don't know. It will be exactly the right person. But first, we would like to present the certificate to a person who doesn't know that he participated so fully. But we would like to present a certificate to Andreas, and with great thanks for all your wonderful and generous filmmaking. I have been so deeply touched by how carefully and gently and compassionately you have served us all so wonderfully well. It's really been a treasure. Thank you. Okay. Now, please choose your certificate, and when you've chosen and presented, it is indeed time to go on and to go forward. And thank you.